feel a lot more comfortable with a glass of wine in my hand. To me, one of the most memorable and difficult times of my life was when I was 11 and 12 years old. I was living with my family growing up in Coos Bay, Oregon. One time my sister noticed a picture of me and I had a lump in my throat. She asked our mother, "Mom, what's that big lump in Gay's throat?" That's what she called me back then, was Gay. Interestingly, what I remember is that I didn't go to the doctor or anything, and nobody ever checked me out. I didn't have any medical procedure or test. But one day my mother came home and said to me, "Gaylin, I'm afraid that you are going to need surgery. You have a goiter." I remember thinking, that's a really ugly word, Mom. What's a goiter? And as it turned out, it just meant that my thyroid had become diseased and enlarged, and I would have to have it removed. Our family practice doctor was going to do it. He removed my thyroid, but in the meantime, he destroyed these little glands on the thyroid called your parathyroids. They produce the calcium that your body needs. I woke up after the surgery in terrible, terrible pain. I had leg cramps. I couldn't get comfortable, and as it turned out, that's how we found out that I had no calcium in my body. After I'd been released from the hospital, I remember going into tetany. Tetany, to me, was with lack of calcium in my body. My muscles were not working properly. So the first sign of my tetany was when my hands would close like this, and I couldn't open them. And then I would kind of go toward a fetal position, and everything was contracting. My first straight shot of calcium was here in my hand, and then we finally figured out that I could receive the injection, the straight shot of calcium in my arm. Before that happened, I had become quite overweight. That was difficult in the social setting of being in 7th and 8th grade. And we decided to move across the state to be closer to family. You know, when I was sick, it really wasn't adversity that I went through. I think that my parents went through a harder time than I did. For me, a lot of the adversity was moving to a new school and being the fat, ugly girl. People would make fun of me and they wouldn't talk to me. Then I became the fat, ugly, smart girl. So even though I didn't get to go to homecoming or anything, I worked on the project, and I was a pep club secretary, class treasurer, honor society secretary as well. So in the end, I was the fat, unpopular, popular, smart girl. I think that going through that difficult stage, it gave me more compassion to help other people. One other thing I remember, when my thyroid was high, hyperthyroid, my eyes would start bulging, you know, like there was an actor that Marty Feldman eyeballs. They'd go like this. Sometimes even to this day, people say, "Oh, your eyes are so big." And I remember back to when I thought that was so ugly, to being hyperthyroid. But I go to the doctor every 6 months, and I'm still alive, so I don't have a poor me. I mean, what happened, and I think it just made me stronger. Going from a 12-year-old sick little girl to a 56-year-old that's pretty stable and good health, I'm thankful.